This one is another way to think about the decomposition of the price and income effects. And so here we have this problem where at a price of $3 each, Yoshi drinks 244-ounce sodas. These are these giant sodas. Concerned about burgeoning obesity, Mayor of New York proposes, Bloomberg actually did this, proposes a 50-cent tax on such drink, on each drink. He then proposes compensating consumers for the price increase by mailing each resident a check for $100. What will happen to Yoshi's consumption of soda? Show using an indifference curve diagram with soda on the horizontal and the composite good on the vertical. Gallery walk reporting. Okay, well here's how you do this. Go ahead and try that. Turn off the recording and try to work that on your scratch paper. And then when you're really frustrated with that, then turn the screencast back on and see how it's done. Maybe you'll nail it right out of the gate. That'd be awesome. Here we go. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to make a pen instead of a pointer. And then we're going to just map out, I'd say do it as big as you can. The screen is a little bit small. We'll call soda, and their quantities of 44-ounce sodas per year, and composite good. In those dollar units that we're so happy with. And so initially we'll just draw an initial tangency. It doesn't really matter that much where we draw it. Let's say he really loves soda. He spends approximately half his income on soda, just to exaggerate. I see already I've made this hard on myself. So anyway, at this point he's consuming 200 sodas, right? So what happens with the tax? Well, the tax, if there were no compensation, the tax would raise the price of sodas, and we'd see a pivot around this intersection. If he didn't drink any sodas, he could avoid the tax completely. The new line would have a slope of negative 3.5. Remember, the price of good X is the slope of the budget constraint in these lines. But something else is going on here, and this is where I knew I had got myself into a jam. But something else is going on here. He's sending people these $100 rebates. And so Yoshi drinks 200 sodas a year. Let's assume it's a long run effect that the 50-cent price, remember in the short run, the buyer and the seller share it, but in the long run, it all gets passed to the consumer. Anyway, so Yoshi would be out $100, 50 cents times 200 if he didn't change his consumption point at all. Of course he would, but the point of the $100 compensation is just to say, hey, he could still afford his original consumption point. So because of this is again another line that's supposed to be parallel, but it isn't. But this is the $100 increase in his income because of the rebate, and that gets him to be able to afford the original point. We'll just go back to calling that A. And the key to answering this question is that notice that because of the new prices, actually we'll call this R, and T would have been out here, the new tangency, but because with this compensation, he's at point T, and so all he's done is the compensation made him whole again, restored him to his original level of income, not utility this time, but his original level of income. He could afford point R after the compensation. And so in the end, because of the increased price of soda, he shifts away because of the substitution effect. But he's actually better off because that shifting away has enabled him to attain a higher indifference curve than he could at that same level of income before the policy went into effect. So let me just recap that with my pointer. So the increase in the price of soda of 50 cents a soda would have shifted the budget line in just this manner. The compensation would have made it possible for Yoshi to afford his original consumption bundle exactly, because if he were consuming 200 sodas and were given 50 cents per soda, $100, he would be able to just afford the original consumption point. So the vertical distance between actually this point and this point is exactly 100. Now, once he gets that consumption point, once he gets that rebate, he still faces the new prices, not the old prices. So he's going to optimize against this new budget constraint that I've got drawn in orange, and that has sodas now more expensive because of the tax. Well, what he's going to do is shift away from soda toward the composite good, and he'll be able to afford point T, which is actually on a slightly higher indifference curve than he was at before. So this would be a way to mitigate political opposition to the increase in the soda tax while still discouraging soda consumption.